Very good morning to all my dear students. Hope with the God grace you all are safe and fine. I welcome you all for this digital classroom session. Let's begin with our 9th standard water security subjects. As you all are aware that it is a grading subject, so whatever the chapters are taught you by this online session, you all have to listen it carefully, and in the class whatever the question answers I will be giving you all, that you are supposed to write it in your PD book that you have assigned it for this particular subject. Now let's move to the chapter number 4, soil and rocks types. In this particular chapter we will be understanding various types of soil and rocks. So, what we will be understanding in section number 1, black basalt, what it means. The layer of black basalt are formed as a lava erupted billions years ago and cooled on the ground. Loam, man limestone, sandstone, and laterite rocks, etc., are the formed due to the erosion of the black basalt. Rocks determine the groundwater holding capacity and the groundwater recharge capacity of the particular area. So we will be understanding what is black basalt, properties of rock, soil, and what it carries on, why it is important, importance of soil also we will be understanding. So my dear student, as I will be giving you all the question answers in the class, you have to watch the video till end, and once I'll come to the class I will be giving you all the question answers. So let's watch the video.
Hello children, welcome back. Chapter 4, Soil and Types of Rocks. Children, we know India is a diverse region, okay? It has different cultures, different traditions, as well as different geographical regions. Now, each of them has different land as per their own region. So that means due to the geographical diversity of India, the land in each region is different. So the soil found at the top of the earth's surface at these different regions also varies from one another. Okay, so now when you start digging soil, what happens? The first layer which you get, that is called as a muddy soil. Then come the next layer which is called as a compact basalt rock. Now what is compact basalt rock? Now we can see the diagrams shown in the video. They are mostly found in Maharashtra. Okay, you can see the structure of the rocks. They are horizontally and slightly, they have a slope area. Now these layers of black basalt are formed due to the erosion or due to the eruption of lava. Okay, now what happens? The lava is erupted billions of years ago and then it is cooled down on the ground. So after that this type of rocks are been formed. A layer usually has two parts. First is homogeneous black basalt and the second one is the porous, which is filled with white greenish pebbles. Pebbles means small tiny stones. Now each such layer can be at least of 5 meters to maximum of 35 meters in thickness. Now between the two layers of such black basalt, there is a reddish brown or greenish brown layer, okay, with a thickness of around 1 to 5 meters, which is called as red layer, or it can be also called as ochre, or it can be also called as red bowl. Okay, now in some places a layer of great white ashes also formed due to the accumulation of ashes, okay, in the lava eruption. Now these types of rocks are mostly found in Maharashtra. Okay, along with this there are other types of rocks that can be also seen. Those rocks are metamorphic rocks, or it can be also eroded rocks. Okay, Now, these types of rocks are very important in terms of groundwater holding capacity. So, the ability to carry fluids through the rocks without any change in the original form is called permeability. Okay. Now, so when you're finding out groundwater, okay, or if you have to find the groundwater recharge, how much the water holds, how much the ground holds the capacity to hold water, okay, then a study of porosity and permeability of the rocks and the types of rocks is necessary. So, what is permeability? It is the ability to carry the fluids, okay, through rocks without any change in its original form. Now, if a drift is carried through a rock at a certain time, it is a permeable rock, and if the amount of fluid carried across is negligible, then it is called as impermeable rock. Next, rock porosity. The porosity of rock is the proportion of volume of the cavity in it to the total volume. Okay. Now, the porosity of the rock can be estimated by examining the samples of rocks. So now, while handling the rock samples, it is not possible to see all the cavities of the rocks with the naked eyes. So you can see how the rock porosity looks like. You can see the structure. Okay, there are small pores of space between each of those cavities. Permeability of rock. Now, in terms of groundwater, it is not enough just to have porosity in the rocks, but also the important property required is permeability. Now, suppose there is a big difference in the velocity of water flow between a clay and silt with similar porosity. So, in short, more water flows to the rocks where the permeability is higher, and less water flows through the rocks where the permeability is lower. Okay. Now, it can be measured with the help of a cylindrical rock. Okay. Permeability can be measured by taking a sample of cylindrical rock, which is of diameter 20 millimeters and height of 40 millimeters. When sampling a rock, it should be taken in one direction only. Fill a large calibrated container with distilled water and keep it for 6 to 8 hours. Then you will see that the water in the container has decreased, which can be measured on the scale. Next, fractures. Now, what is fractures? It is a cracking property of the black basalt rock, the degradation of certain minerals, the effect of sunlight, cold and rain, the imbalance of temperature, the chemical reaction of water, and the pressure on the ground and small large weatherings caused by inner cavities. The combined effect of all these factors is fracture. Okay. Fractures means you can see there are small cracking on the rocks. Okay. Why does it happen? It happens due to all the above given conditions. Next, soil. The process by which rocks are transformed into soil is called weathering of rocks. Okay. The rocks have been transformed. They are converted into soil. Okay. But how they are transformed? With the help of weathering of rocks. Okay. Due to constant change in air, water, temperature and pressure, rocks and boulders break up, erode and eventually turn into fine particles and become soil. So, due to the constant change in temperature or due to the change in air, water or pressure, rocks, they breaks up. Okay, so when they breaks up, they erode, okay, and eventually turn into fine particles and they become soil. Now, soil is made up of gravel, it is made up of rocks, sand, fine clay, and organic matter. Now, each of the particles of soil varies in their size. You can see first clay, it is smaller than 0.0002 millimeters. Silt is approximately up to 2.022 millimeters to 0.5 millimeters. Sand is 0.5 millimeters to 2 millimeters and stone is greater than 2 millimeters. Next, humus formation in the soil. The remains of plants and animals are mixed in the soil. Okay, the microorganisms in it, they start the process of decomposition of the remains of the plants and animals. Then after that, they produce nitrogenous compounds, okay, which increases the fertility of the soil. The soil formed from the decomposition of these plants and animals remains is called as humus. Now, we know soil is a hotbed of all microorganisms. There are numerous types of microorganisms which live in the soil. It takes approximately about 800 to 1000 years for 2.5 centimeter of thick layer of fertile soil to form naturally. Okay. Next, importance of soil. The soil supports the plants. That is the first important factor. Okay. The soil acts as a pillar of support to the plants. Now we get various nutrients, minerals, okay, from soil. Even the plants requires various minerals, nutrients. So even they get all the required nutrients and minerals from the soil. Soil has the capacity to store water, okay, which is required for all the living beings on the earth. Not only plants, not only animals, but also for us human beings. Now, this last property is the soil is a home for a variety of microorganisms that are essential for the growth of the plant. So with this, we have completed the chapter. For your homework, you have to find the answers from the textbook and write into your notebook of all the 5 questions from the exercise. Thank you.